Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
A woman rescued after getting stuck in a chimney. We have the dramatic video plus new information about what she was doing in there.
A tragic story in Anaheim. A young boy is dead after a suspected drunk driver slams into a family car.
Two bobcats seen fighting in a neighborhood tree. We have a reaction from the homeowner. And we begin with breaking news. A suspect steals an ambulance, leading police on a short chase. Good evening, I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. This is Eyewitness News at 8 on LA56. Authorities say the ambulance was stolen around 7 o'clock tonight in downtown Los Angeles. They led police on a short pursuit down surface streets to the other side of the 110 freeway. It ended when the driver crashed into another car at Union Place and Beverly Boulevard. No firefighters were injured, or rather were in the ambulance at the time. No one was hurt in the crash. The suspect has been taken into custody. We have a crew headed to the scene and will update you on this story as soon as we get more information. And now to our other top story tonight. A Thousand Oaks home has no chimney tonight. Firefighters had to dismantle it to extract a woman stuck in it. Police say she was trying to break into the house. The man who lives there says he and the woman do have some history. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell explains.
Hey, you won't believe this? There's somebody in your chimney.
That's the text message Lawrence received from his next-door neighbor around 5 this morning. He was out attending a party at a friend's house. His neighbors were awakened after hearing a woman yelling.
I just hear this calling, help, ah, ah.
Eyewitness Robert Fisher grabbed his camera and shot this video as rescuers arrived at the home on the 1900 block of Woodside Drive. It took firefighters nearly 2.5 hours to free the woman.
It was quite an interesting operation. It involved dismantling the chimney, using basically things we'd find at a normal hardware store to get in there and get the patient out.
She can be seen wedged inside the tight chimney with her hands over her head. When they finally freed her, she was covered in soot. Lawrence came home and realized it was a woman he had dated.
I met her online not too long ago, and, we kind of were seeing each other, as friends pretty much, and, things kind of escalated and I kind of cut it off.
The woman was taken to a hospital for treatment after firefighters rescued her, and police have taken her into custody. She's identified as 30-year-old Genevieva Nunez Figueroa. Lawrence says he found her on his roof 2 weeks ago and called police, but she disappeared. When she came to his door another time, he told her to leave.
I'm going to be a little bit more cautious to who I invite in my house now,
Nunez Figueroa was arrested on charges of illegal entry and giving false information to police. Now the resident says he has to figure out how to get his chimney repaired. In Thousand Oaks, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Amy, thank you. And we want you to become a part of the Eyewitness News team. If you witness any news, share your photos and video on social media with the hashtag Eyewitness, or you can upload them to the ABC7 Eyewitness News app and join our circle of eyewitnesses.
A memorial is growing tonight at the scene of a tragic accident involving a 10-year-old boy in Anaheim. He was killed by a suspected drunk driver on Euclid Street and La Palma Avenue. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter has the story.
A memorial of candles and signs in honor of 10-year-old Isaiah Rafael Ramirez, the little boy proudly wearing his halo, now an angel for sure, according to eyewitnesses, after he was killed by an alleged drunk driver.
Paramedics basically had him down on the ground. They were trying to revive him. They were pumping. It's a little hard.
The horrific crash happened just before midnight. A family of 5 on their way home from a late dinner when they were suddenly rear-ended by the black Toyota pickup, pushing their car into the intersection at La Palma and Euclid in Anaheim, right into the path of an oncoming vehicle.
I just saw that there was kids, and my instinct was just get the little ones out. And I got the little girls out. When someone helped me with the car seat, and we took the little girls across the street.
Isaiah was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the truck arrested at the scene. 41-year-old Gary Hunt now behind bars on felony DUI. Isaiah's father and other loved ones returned at the scene of the crash this morning, but were too upset to talk, devastated by the deadly accident caused by a man police say chose to drink and drive.
It's too late for him to realize it, but for other people to think about it, it's not worth it.
Hug your kids a little tighter. You never know when the last moment is.
Isaiah's siblings, who were also taken to the hospital, have all been treated and released. Another woman who was in the other vehicle remains hospitalized. Again, the suspect behind bars facing a felony charge of DUI. In Anaheim, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
In Riverside, a man is shot to death at a house party on Gramercy Place, not far from Bryant Park. Police say they got called to the scene around 1:30 this morning, and when they arrived, the victim, a 31-year-old man, was already dead. No one else was hurt during the party of about 15 guests. Police interviewed witnesses and are now looking for a suspect.
2 arrests have now been made in connection with the death of a Saudi-born Cal State Northridge student. 23-year-old Abdullah Al-Qadi was reported missing when he vanished last month after selling his car on Craigslist. A search ended tragically Thursday when his remains were found on the 10 freeway in Palm Desert. The young man's family is now desperate to find out what led to his death. LAPD Chief Charlie Beck is expected to provide more information on the case in a news conference tomorrow.
One person is injured when a house fire breaks out near Paradise Cove in Malibu. Flames and smoke could be seen shooting out of the small house just before 2 o'clock this afternoon on the 5,000 block of Ramirez Canyon Road. Firefighters had the blaze knocked down in about a half hour. Fortunately, it did not spread to any nearby brush. One person suffered minor injuries. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
A couple of bobcats are spotted in a tree in a Valencia neighborhood. The cats were spotted on the 27,000 block of Brighton Lane. The homeowner there says he and his neighbors were surprised by the cat's visit. They say the 2 bobcats appeared to be fighting while up in that tree.
My wife called the fishing game. Nobody answered. So she called the sheriffs. They came right away. They looked and they saw it and they heard it. And they said, okay, we'll call fishing game. And they said they don't take care of bobcats. So they said, okay, we'll wait a little bit. Finally, one came down.
One came down, but the other remained up in the tree. Santa Clarita Sheriff's deputies told residents there to keep their children and pets inside.
Let's get a check of our weather right now. Danny Romero standing by. Danny, what's it going to be?
Well, I'll tell you what, more of the fall weather continues, Giovanna and Jory, for another day or so, and then things start to turn around for us. I don't know if it's bobcat weather, but just the same. Here's our Irvine Spectrum camera. We're showing OC looking fairly nice. A few clouds coming through the area right now, and certainly temps are cooling down here in the middle of the evening. 70 degrees in Ontario, 71 in Fullerton at the moment. Santa Ana checks in at 72 degrees. We're showing a 69 for Long Beach right now. Riverside goes 67, Hemet at 69 degrees. Clouds moving in on the beach areas, so we're seeing a 68 right now in Santa Monica and Long Beach at 69. Heading towards an overnight low of 61 under partly cloudy skies in the basin. And another day of this fall weather, but then when things change, they really change. I'll show you that when I come back to the 7-day in just a bit. Jory, Giovanna, go ahead.
Danny, thanks. The Carnival cruise ship carrying the hospital lab worker who sparked Ebola fears on board is now back in Texas tonight. Tests have already cleared her of the disease, but officials are still trying to track down everyone who may have come into contact with another nurse infected by the virus. ABC's Tom Yamas has the latest on the Ebola scare.
Today, the woman at the center of that Ebola scare on the cruise ship Carnival Magic disembarking. The ship and its 3,600 passengers back in Texas after Mexico and Belize refused to grant her access.
She shouldn't have been on board. She should have stayed home.
Cleaning crews now preparing to scrub every inch of the ship. On Saturday, this was the view from the deck. As passengers partied, a Coast Guard helicopter hovering above, on a mission to collect a blood sample from the Dallas lab supervisor who handled blood samples from Ebola victim Thomas Eric Duncan. Even though she didn't have a fever and was showing no symptoms, she'd been quarantined in her cabin for days.
When it first came out, there was kind of panic.
Around the time the boat docked in Galveston, word she tested negative for the virus. She was allowed to go home. But tonight, a critical time for those 75 Dallas healthcare workers who treated Duncan.
We're right in the middle of a hot zone, right now. And so we're doing a whole lot of work.
It's been 11 days since Duncan died, exactly the time when symptoms are most likely to be present. Nina Pham, the first nurse to contract the disease, still in isolation tonight.
It's a serious disease, and it kind of knocks you out So it's mostly really being fatigued, but she's in very good spirits.
Meanwhile, authorities still tracing the contacts of that second nurse, Amber Vinson, who had traveled back home to Cleveland to prepare for her wedding. More than 100 people on that watch list so far. And tonight, new video of the bridal shop Vinson visited being decontaminated. At last check, her family saying Vinson in stable condition. Tonight, the 21-day monitoring window ends for the first 48 people who came into contact with Thomas Eric Duncan. That group includes his family and his fiancée, Louise Tro. Tom Yamas, ABC News, Dallas.
Turning to the fight against ISIS, U.S. forces have just airdropped arms and supplies to Kurdish opposition fighters in the Syrian town of Kobani. This comes after another round of U.S. airstrikes this weekend targeting oil pipelines that the militants control. The fight over Kobani continues, but those airstrikes have helped to push ISIS back and weaken its ranks. American officials admit Kobani could still fall, but insist the real goal is degrading ISIS as a whole. By destroying the group's oil facilities, the U.S. is hoping to cut off cash flow to ISIS.
A popular fall festival in New Hampshire erupts into violence near Keene State College. Overnight, crowds overturned cars, set fires, and hurled bottles at police, who responded with riot gear and tear gas. Police moved forward in formation, trying to disperse that crowd. Dozens were arrested. Some 20 were injured. The violence began earlier in the day when police had to use tear gas to break up that crowd.
I got hit with a Jack Daniels bottle, like across the face. Yeah, I was in the health center for a little bit, but I left.
These guys just came in with shields, started, tear gassing me. Crazy stuff.
The parties and chaos around the school coincided with the Keene Pumpkin Festival, which aims to set a world record this year for most lit jack-o'-lanterns.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, an update on the efforts to remove a sunken barge from the Chicago River.
And parents outraged over a controversial toy based on a very popular TV show. We'll show you what the fuss is all about.
Plus, thousands turn out for the annual LA County Walk to defeat ALS. We'll show you some of the familiar faces that laced up their walking shoes. A big challenge in downtown Chicago, where crews are trying to remove a sunken barge from the Chicago River. The vessel, which is longer than a football field, sunk on Friday while workers were using it to dump clay actually dump clay in from a construction site. Officials there still don't know why the boat sank, but witnesses describe hearing a loud boom before it split in half and went down.
New at 8, controversy over Breaking Bad-themed toys at Toys R Us. You guys ready for this? Parents have started a petition trying to get the toys removed from shelves. Those action figures feature characters based on the hit TV show, including a detachable bag of cash and crystal meth. The items are listed as being marketed to ages 15 and older, but people are upset that drug-related toys are available at all in a location where children shop for toys. Toys R Us's Facebook page has been flooded with responses from both sides of the issue, but so far the store has made no comment on that petition.
I can see why parents would be a little upset.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. You know, kids.
But
like,
I still love that show.
Oh, it's a great show.
Huge
it's a great
fan.
show. That's, you know, a good costume for Halloween.
Absolutely. I was thinking for Halloween, it's perfect.
The lab suits they wear.
Yeah, you know, folks are doubling those as Ebola.
Are they?
Yeah, hazmat suits.
Are they?
No, I'd stay with the Breaking Bad.
No doubt.
Yeah, I like that.
With the Heisenberg hat.
There you go.
I like that. I'm feeling it already.
Tread lightly, Danny.
Oh, now I'm scared. Let's go outside, take a look at our live shot. How about this one? Laguna Beach, looking pretty good here now. There you can see a hint of that marine layer coming in, bringing us a little cloud cover, and that is part of the reason we're staying so cool and seasonal, even below seasonal temperatures, especially on the coastal areas. Downtown skies are also seeing a few clouds already, more so coming later. 69 degrees at the moment with calm winds and 75% relative humidity. The aforementioned marine layer right here, watch as it moves in tonight and really penetrates deep to the inland areas. Backs off, of course, during the afternoon. Watch again, though, Monday night into Tuesday morning. Marine layer back and again pushing in deep. That's all that cool marine air which serves to bring temperatures down. And as long as this well-defined trough is in place, you see that circulation around the low that gives it that onshore push. So this is what pushes all that cool marine air onto the coastal spots to the inland areas as well. Certainly Monday into Tuesday, they'll still be in effect. But then things start to change around as we get towards midweek. Wednesday, that trough starts to move out. We now see this right there, that ridge of high pressure that moves in. Everything turns around now. That marine layer gets pushed out very early in the day because of that circulation around the high, and now temperatures start to warm up about midweek, and quite a bit, too. Here's the numbers tonight. Down to 54 in Beaumont. We get down to 61 in Ontario. Same for Malibu. 58 overnight in Ventura. Then tomorrow, look at these mild temperatures through the valleys. Northridge, 75. Glendale, 75 as well. 81, though, for Palmdale. 70 at Redondo Beach. Again, kind of a cloudier beach day. Inland Empire goes to 82 in San Bernardino, Riverside, and Lake Elsinore. Here's our 7-day. Power back, you weather. Watch the numbers slowly climb. 74 tomorrow for the morning clouds move out. At the beach area, some fog as well. And then 77 for Tuesday. Here comes that bump up to 82, and then really jumping up to 89, almost 90 degrees downtown on Thursday here in the fall. Still pretty warm on Friday. By the weekend, we drop down to average temps, even a little below average by Sunday afternoon. The valleys of the Inland Empire will be mostly sunny tomorrow, and then start to warm up on Tuesday, more so on Wednesday. But we're not done there. 80s jump to the 90s for Thursday and Friday, and then drop back down for another cool autumnal weekend next weekend. Mountains will be breezy and cool, clear through the week, and temps in the 60s during the day, but at nighttime, watch out here. Bundle up. We'll see numbers get down to the 40s. I'm showing you there, and some spots down to the 30s. High desert will be gusty winds to 20 miles per hour. A little drop in temps on Tuesday, then back up to the 80s and hanging in there from Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend as well. I got to find one of those Eisenberg hats. I think they're just cool-looking hats
I'm
anyway.
sure they're easy to find.
Yeah,
sure
you could pull that off.
Yeah.
I could not.
I think let me give it a shot. Eisenberg.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thousands came out today for the annual LA County Walk to Defeat ALS, including several big-name celebrities.
ABC7 was a proud sponsor of the event, which raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for ALS research. Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson was the master of ceremonies and has more from Exposition Park.
But we're also here for personal reasons.
Actress Renee Zellweger asked the crowd at the Walk to Defeat ALS to scream the name of the person they're walking for. Renee is walking for Nancy Ryder, a top Hollywood publicist for decades, recently diagnosed with ALS.
I think a lot of people are newly learning about this disease.
Nancy cut the ribbon to start the walk. With more than 2,500 walkers, it's more than double the size of last year's event.
It's a pivotal time as I'm learning in terms of the research.
Those Ice Bucket Challenge videos have been a game changer for the disease.
Challenge accepted.
As they flooded social media timelines, they also spread awareness in an unprecedented way.
More people know they give them money.
The videos help raise more than $115 million.
This struggle is not over with. Now we got to develop the medicines. We got to help the people who are living with this devastating disease.
That's why ABC7 is so proud to sponsor events like this walk.
To see this turnout.
And I'm so honored to serve as MC.
1, 2, 3.
It's the first walk for Mari Windsor.
Other side up.
The woman who taught millions of people about Pilates through her DVDs was recently diagnosed with this immobilizing disease. Now she's teaching a specialized ALS Pilates routine.
If we keep moving, even if it's just the slightest little bit, it does help that condition.
Everyone here is moving towards a cure, with this event raising nearly $750,000. Natalia lost her father to disease. She wanted to share a message with our viewers.
Thank you for supporting ALS, and thank you for doing the Ice Bucket Challenge.
In Exposition Park, Alex Michelson, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Great work, Alex, and everyone who took part today. Ahead on Eyewitness News, some good news for drivers.
Gas prices continue to fall. We'll look at the latest numbers. What's this story?
Most modern sporty motorcycles are encased. You can't really see anything. Well, the new trend is going naked. I'm Dave Coons. They're called naked bikes. You can see everything out in the open. The engine, the frame, the way motorcycles used to be. I'll have the story coming up.
You're going to like this news. Gas prices are down significantly across Southern California right now. And more good news. AAA says the downward trend should continue for at least a little while. This gas station in Anaheim at La Palma and Euclid is selling regular unleaded for $3.27 a gallon. But the average prices in Orange County are about $3.51 a gallon, down a full dime in the last week. In LA County, expect to pay around $3.53 a gallon. That's also down 10 cents. In the IE, regular gas is going for $3.50, and in Ventura County, the price is about $3.52 for self-serve regular.
It'd be great if it went down to under $2, but that's not likely.
That'd be amazing.
Yes. A hot trend in the motorcycle world is models that do away with the big plastic body pieces and show off their engines. The so-called naked bikes come in all shapes and sizes. Car specialist Dave Coons gives us a look.
The Kawasaki ZX-14 and Suzuki Hayabusa are great examples of modern high-performance motorcycles. But while their sleek exteriors are aerodynamic and project a racetrack image, some miss the inner beauty of the working side of things. So a growing trend, what are sometimes called naked bikes. This is the Kawasaki Z1000. Its powerful four-cylinder engine is proudly on display, as is its state-of-the-art chassis. The big brakes come standard with ABS. Make no mistake, this is a true high-performance motorcycle, but in a different suit of clothes. The trend of these modern exposed motorcycles could be traced to the Ducati Monster, which first appeared in the early 1990s. Today, the Monster comes in several sizes, up to the big Bruiser 1200. For fans of things mechanical, the signature Ducati L-twin engine is in plain view. Just the sight to go with that distinctive Ducati sound. And Honda's been getting back to its own roots in a way. Last year they debuted the CB1100, which combines retro styling with modern hardware. The bike has been selling well and reminds many riders of the Hondas they grew up with. The large naked bikes are obviously for experienced riders. They have lots of power. They're also not cheap at $10,000 to $15,000. For someone who's just looking for maybe a commuter bike that gets good mileage, or they're thinking of getting into motorcycling, another segment of the naked bikes, the smaller ones, at about $4,000. Say hello to the new Honda CB300R, relatively simple and free of fancy body panels. This one works great as a basic motorcycle. The seating position is fairly upright and comfortable, and there's room for an occasional passenger. The EPA doesn't rate motorcycles like they do cars, but Honda claims 70-plus miles per gallon. An urban commuter wouldn't need to refill the 3.4-gallon tank very often. So while the sportiest of motorcycles still wear the cladding of professional race bikes, more and more riders these days are looking for less plastic and more of the basics. Dave Coons, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
We stay on the subject of motorcycles here. The Captain America motorcycle Peter Fonda reportedly rode in the 1960s movie Easy Rider, sold this weekend in Calabasas for $1.3 million. No word yet on who bought the Harley-Davidson, but the auction house says bidding was fierce. 4 motorcycles were created for the movie, but the bike that was just sold is believed to be the only one left. The customized chopper was reportedly used in a crash sequence in the movie and then later restored.
That's a lot of money for a motorcycle.
Yes, it is.
Much more news still to come on Eyewitness News at 8:30 here on LA56, including the video people can't stop talking about.
We'll hear from the eyewitness who captured the images of a man rushing into a burning home to save a stranger's life.
Plus, the latest developments on the missing college student Hannah Graham, what investigators are doing tonight.
Plus, a memorial for an Orange County girl who was murdered 35 years ago. What her mother had to say today.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, a woman suspected of trying to break into a house through the chimney gets stuck. Hello, I'm Giovanna Lotta.
And I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. It happened at this home in Thousand Oaks. Neighbor and eyewitness Robert Fisher shot this video early this morning. Neighbors heard a woman yelling. Firefighters arrived. It took nearly 2.5 hours to dismantle the chimney and free the woman stuck inside. Police say she is Genoviva Nunez Figueroa and that she was trying to break into the home. The man who lives there says he knows her. In fact, he says they met online and dated for a time, but that he had cut it off.
A suspected drunk driver crashes into a car with 3 children inside. One of them, 10-year-old Isaiah Rafael Ramirez, later died at the hospital. The family of 5 was returning from a late-night meal in Anaheim when they were rear-ended by a black Toyota pickup truck. Their car was pushed into the intersection and then sideswiped by another vehicle. The driver of that truck, Gary Hunt, was arrested on felony DUI charges. He may face more charges, possibly vehicular manslaughter.
A man calmly walks into a house that is engulfed in flames and pulls out an elderly man. It's dramatic video from outside Fresno, and the anonymous Good Samaritan didn't even stick around to take credit.
A frantic scene at a home just east of Fresno. Huge flames and thick smoke shooting out of this duplex. All as neighbors desperately try to find a way in after a woman screamed that her father was trapped inside.
Your dad is still in there? Your dad is in there? I called 911. It's Poppy! Oh my God! It's Dad!
Beth Letterack captured the frantic moments on her cell phone.
Get my dad! We gotta get him out of there.
Agonizing minutes and precious time ticking away. The fire intensifying and setting off explosions, making it difficult and dangerous for anyone to go in.
Is everybody out? No, there's a man in there.
Then, an unknown rescuer races out.
I noticed then that there was a guy in a cap that just started walking toward the house very calmly, just walked in there. And then the next thing I see, he's coming out with this man over his shoulder.
Oh, thank God!
Pulled out in the nick of time, the unidentified man, in shock and weakened, is helped to the sidewalk. Waiting for fire and paramedics to arrive a few minutes later, officials say he was transported to the hospital to be examined. The man who bravely rushed in is being called a hero, risking his life to save another.
That man who was rescued was taken to a hospital to be treated for smoke inhalation. He is expected to recover.
Great story. Search teams in Virginia were back out looking for more clues in the case of missing college student Hannah Graham. This after investigators stumbled across what they now believe are Graham's remains, 5 weeks to the day from her disappearance. ABC's Bazi Kanani has the latest developments.
Tonight, police sealing off what is now a crime scene after the discovery of human remains that could be 18-year-old Hannah Graham. The usually emphatic Charlottesville police chief somber, explaining more tests must be done to confirm the identity and thanking searchers.
Thousands of hours have been spent in an effort to find Hannah. We think perhaps today proved their worth.
The remains, a skull, bones, and a pair of dark-colored pants similar to the pair Graham was wearing the night she disappeared, when police say she was last seen with this man, 32-year-old Jesse Matthew, in the downtown mall. That's 11 miles away from where the human remains were found on an abandoned property.
It was close to that road as far as it being accessible.
It's a road sources say Matthew knew well because he has family in the area. The site just 5 miles from where searchers found the remains of another missing college student, Morgan Harrington, back in 2010. Investigators say there's forensic evidence linking Matthew to that case. Tonight, they search for more links to Graham's disappearance.
Location and items found with the remains are critical.
Jesse Matthew is now jailed on abduction with intent to defile charges. He has not pled, his attorney not commenting tonight.
That was Bazi Kanani reporting. Police are now looking into possible forensic links between Matthew and at least 4 other unsolved cases of missing women.
In Huntington Beach today, a memorial to a 12-year-old girl was unveiled 35 years after her murder. Robin Samso was kidnapped back in 1979. Her remains were later found near the home of serial killer Rodney Alcala. He was convicted of killing her, convicted 3 times in fact. The first 2 were overturned on appeal. Today, no one spoke of the killer, focusing instead on young Robin and a life lost far too soon.
I feel like this plaque here, we've needed closure for a long time. We've been in court a long time, and it weighs on you, it ages you considerably. But I think something like this, the city this man taking it upon himself to start it, and the city doing something about it, I think is just amazing.
Alcala, who has been convicted of 6 other murders, is currently on death row.
The search continues for a hit-and-run driver wanted in a deadly crash. A mother of 3 was killed on Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood. Police say 48-year-old Ophelia Salazar was pushing a shopping cart across the 7200 block of that street at around 2:15 a.m. yesterday morning when a Mercedes-Benz struck her. The driver never stopped. Salazar was pronounced dead at the scene. She leaves behind a 4-year-old son and 2 daughters, ages 20 and 17. They're now pleading with the driver to come forward.
He just turned himself in because he ruined my sister and my little brother's life.
They didn't see her, but they shouldn't just run away like that.
The Mercedes-Benz has only been described as a white, newer model. Witnesses say the driver sped away north on Lancashire and then turned east on Valerio Street. Anyone with information is urged to call police. And in Santa Ana, a man is recovering after being shot. It happened around 7:45 last night. Officers were called out to the scene on First and Fairview and found the victim lying unresponsive. The man was rushed to a hospital and is said to be in stable condition. Police say it's unlikely the shooting was gang-related, but released no other information on the suspect.
Tomorrow, Ray Cortines will lead for the 3rd time the LA Unified School District. Cortines has already served as LAUSD's chief twice. Now, at 82 years old, he will hold the post on an interim basis until a new superintendent is hired. Cortines replaces John Dacey, who resigned following controversy over several things, including his failed plan to provide iPads to all schools and his relationship with Apple. Dacey replaced Cortines back in 2011 when LA City Hall officials thought he wasn't instituting reforms fast enough.
It was a great day at the beach for kids with special needs.
It really was. Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll show you that amazing event and hear from some of the young participants.
Plus, 2 records are broken with 1 skydive at a local skydiving center. More of this incredible video when we come back.
Hi there, I'm Danny Romero. You can see clouds coming in already. What will it mean for your drive tomorrow? I'll tell you with a 7-day coming up in a bit.
A great day at the beach for a whole lot of kids with special needs, thanks to the Best Day Foundation's Orange County chapter. This is a wonderful organization. It provides adventure-filled activities for kids with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and other physical and developmental challenges. Today in Dana Point, that meant surfing, kayaking, pretty much anything you can do at the beach, so long as it's fun.
What'd you do today?
Did the kayak,
What else?
outrigger, swimming, and surfing.
What do you think?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. What part did you like the most?
I like the swimming.
Yeah, before long it'll be a little too cold for a day at the beach, but no problem. The Best Day Foundation will soon be getting ready for its Day in the Snow event.
Should be fun as well. New at 8, 2 records are broken with one skydive at Paris Valley Skydiving Center. This is handout video of Friday's record-breaking jump. We're told the first record is an official FAI world record for largest sequential formation, meaning the skydivers made 2 formations within a single jump. There were 117 women involved, and since all the jumpers were women, they also set the FAI record for largest all-female sequential formation. Are any of those, I think that one right there in the...
Is that me?
Is it pink? Is that Giovanna?
Did you catch? You caught me doing it. That's great.
Yeah.
Love that.
How was it up there?
Yeah, it was good. Never.
Yeah.
You'd never catch me up there. An inspiring story of sportsmanship between 2 teams.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, for 2 girls competing in a race, finishing first was not the most important thing. How one girl lent a helping hand to make sure a competitor finished.
And Landon Donovan plays his final regular season game at home for the Galaxy. Highlights up ahead in sports. Our resident charming meteorologist, Danny Romero, is here.
Wow, I feel better already.
Have a look at our forecast.
I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Because it all goes downhill from here. Let's go outside, take a look and see how our Sunday night is looking. Now, we have a few clouds that are coming in already in some areas, and that's serving to keep us on the cool side. And so we check out first our live shot, Long Beach. Our live HD camera shows a little cloud cover still lingering off in the distance, but will be rolling in on many coastal spots tonight and into the morning hours. Already some clouds showing up over the downtown skyline, and we're cooling down certainly. 68 degrees at the moment. 81% relative humidity and a barometer that's on the rise. Our temperature today, the average is 78. We got to 77, so right about where we should be this afternoon. A few gorgeous sunsets over the Southland in different spots. Hope you saw a good one. And 7:02 tomorrow, the sun rises up to kick off your Monday, and you're going to be greeted with, again, more of that cool marine layer influence thanks to this trough of low pressure. You see the circulation around that low goes in that counterclockwise motion, so it grabs that cool marine air, pushes it onshore, and this time pretty deeply into our inland area, so that means even the inland spots are going to drop down as far as temps are concerned, and then by midweek, it all changes. Go back to some high-pressure ridge and things turn around and heat up. Numbers tonight, 40s and 50s, and then tomorrow, another pleasant day in the valleys. 75 in Glendale and Pasadena, Covina as well. Cloudy on the beaches, 70 at Redondo Beach, but a little more warm through the IE. 81 for Ontario and Beaumont and the desert. Palm Springs gets up to 94 tomorrow. But watch everybody change about midweek. Here's a 7-day power back weather with fog and clouds at the beach areas to start the day, and then cooler temps when the sun gets out later in the afternoon, 74 the high. And then here comes the warming. Tuesday a little bit up to 77. More so on Wednesday, and then a real jump up to 89, the hottest day on Thursday. Still pretty warm on Friday, then right back down to average temps and below that by the end of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The valleys and Inland Empire mostly sunny for tomorrow, and we'll see a little bit of warming on Tuesday, more warming on Wednesday, and then we get up in those hot 90s I was talking about for Thursday and Friday before we drop down to 84 and even to the 70s by Sunday. So the weekend looking pretty good. Our mountain spots are just a gorgeous week ahead. Cool and breezy through the week. Temps hovering in the 60s during the daytime. One spot to 70 on Friday. But the overnight numbers, watch out here in the mountains. You'll see some cold spots. 40s I'm showing you there as averages. Some areas will see temps in the 30s overnight. Bundle up with your own charmer. Here's our high desert. Temperatures going to 80 and then a little drop down to the 70s on Tuesday, then right back up to the low 80s for Wednesday, and some warming up to the 85, 86 range for Thursday and Friday, and then there too in the desert, we drop down from 84 to 78 on Sunday, back to some fall-like numbers for them.
Okay, Danny, thank you. One North Dakota teen faced a tough choice on the track during her final high school cross-country meet. Cross the finish line or throw it all away to help a rival. As ABC's Cecilia Vega reports, the teen says she got a different kind of medal.
The finish line was so close, but something stopped Melanie Bailey in her tracks.
I see this girl and she's limping, she's crying her eyes out, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she said, "No."
A competitor, Danielle Lanou, was down with a knee injury.
I was just sobbing, and all of a sudden this girl comes up and she grabs my arm and she said, "Here, come on." Couldn't walk at all, and so she said, "Here, hop on my back," and she bent down, picked me up. She's like half my size.
The photo says it all. Melanie, exhausted, hoists Danielle onto her back and carries her all the way to medics. Tired, it was a struggle to get there. The girls didn't say a word to each other.
What are the other runners doing?
They passed by.
Why did you stop?
It was the right thing to do. I mean, I'm not going to just leave somebody there. I would feel even worse if I just finished with not leaving her, knowing that she was there crying in pain.
Once strangers, arch rivals even, now friends.
So nice. I mean, like, she didn't have to do that. How many people kept running past me, but she decided she was going to stop.
How can you say that you beat somebody when you had an unfair advantage?
Melanie finished almost 8.5 minutes behind the first place runner. It was her worst time ever, but it didn't matter. She won.
They take a medal home, but I take home a medal in my heart. I feel really good about what I did. I can look back on this forever and say, hey, I did that. Somebody got a medal, but I got a different kind of medal. That was Cecilia Vega reporting. Melanie says her dream is to become a physical therapist.
Wow, good move there. Yeah, really good job.
So nice.
Chris, here now with a look at sports.
Well, coming up, a different type of running on the pitch, if you will. The Landon Donovan Farewell Tour continues. Tonight, his final home regular season game with the Galaxy. Donovan said he really can't get too sentimental during the match since the Galaxy will be battling Seattle on a home-and-home with the best record. It's called the Supporter Shield on the line. Galaxy fans showing their appreciation for number 10 before this one at the old Home Depot Center, now the StubHub Center. 10th minute, LA on the attack. Dan Gargan with the cross. Landon goes for the header. Talk about so close, but yet so far. That would have been sweet, wouldn't it? Second half, 50th minute, off the corner kick. Marcelo Sarvis from the top of the box to the left corner, and dare I say, a 2-0 lead. But Seattle scored twice, just 3 minutes apart. Lamar Nagel with the equalizer. They'll play again Saturday with the winner getting the best record, and you can see the great support by the Galaxy, a tribute to Landon Donovan afterwards. Meantime, the new college AP poll is out, and it is dominating by the SEC West. Mississippi State remains number 1, followed by Florida State, which is not in the SEC. Then Ole Miss, Alabama, and Auburn. That's amazing, as USC also moves up to 20th. UCLA with a win, barely at Cal. They're back in the top 25 at number 25. NASCAR racing also in Alabama. A big wreck on the backstretch of lap 103. J.J. Yeley gets slammed to the outside wall. Several cars slide to the inside and hit the wall, including Tony Stewart there, and championship contender Kyle Busch, who finished 40th, he was eliminated. Ditto for Dale Earnhardt Johnson Jr., Jimmy Johnson, and Casey Kane. Final lap, Brad Keselowski needed to hold on. He did. He gets the win. That is what keeps him alive in the chase for the Cup. And finally, here's a sight you don't see every day down at the beach, Huntington Beach. They're usually catching waves. Today, a different ride of some 5,000 fans watching him ride Brahma Bulls Matt Triplett on Oklahoma Bell. If you're not careful, he'll ring your bell. Only one of 4 qualified rides of the day, good enough to claim first place. And the native from Montana takes home $7,500. All $7,500 for riding that thing.
Yeah, and you really have to hang on.
No bull there.
Thank you. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7, more on our breaking story. A man steals an ambulance and leads police on a wild pursuit. And a new report reveals Nazi war criminals collected millions of dollars in U.S. Social Security. How it happened. Plus, paralyzed in a freak boating accident, but now new technology allowing a groom to walk down the aisle at his wedding. Those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Well, ahead here on Eyewitness News, we'll tell you what tops the box office this weekend.
And a celebration dedicated to one of America's favorite condiments. What got the crowd so heated up? When we come back.
Brad Pitt and Fury blasted the competition at the box office this weekend. The World War II epic from Pitt opened with $23.5 million in receipts. It's about a Yankee tank crew fighting far behind Nazi lines. Gone Girl dropped to number 2 after 3 weeks in the top spot, drawing just under $18 million. The Book of Life, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, and The Best of Me rounded out the top 5.
It's time to celebrate America's new favorite condiment. It's more than just a hot sauce. Sriracha has become a popular ingredient in many cuisines. The Los Angeles Sriracha Festival took place today in Chinatown. Around 1,000 people were there. I just had some and my tongue is a little...
That's it. Spicy.
15 different chefs from around the city made dishes inspired by the popular chili sauce. The event also raises money for a good cause.
We're raising funds for Food Forward for the second year in a row. It's a great North Hollywood-based charity that collects produce that would otherwise go to waste, and it donates it to local food banks.
Last year, the festival raised $2,500 for the nonprofit. The organization has collected more than 5 million pounds of food since 2009. The food is donated to about 100,000 people a month.
You know why Sriracha is so popular?
Why is that?
Because people love to say Sriracha.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. Seinfeld thinks it is. One ticket had all the right numbers for last night's Super Lotto Plus jackpot.
The winnings are estimated at $13 million. The ticket was purchased for just $1 at a combination Circle K convenience store and 76 gas station in Simi Valley. The winning numbers in last night's drawing were 9, 12, 15, 23, 40, and with the mega ball, 16. I know. The winner has not yet come forward. The store owner is excited for his customer and explains how he found out.
Last night at 9 o'clock, they called me, and I was, having dinner, and, since last night I didn't sleep. I put it that way. I sleep only 1 hour because I was so excited to come down and see what's going on and all that.
Yeah, the store owner gets $65,000.
And I know somebody out there got that Seinfeld joke. I know it. We are out of time. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock over on ABC7.
Bye-bye.